Another good way, as well as taking a breath, a really good way of connecting with the joy of life is listening to music. I am sounding like a BBC local radio presenter now, which brings us to, in a daintily put together segue, Wildflowers, everybody. Let's give them a nice big round of applause. There's Joe Mack right there. Good morning to you. How are you?
Excellent. And Natasha Dow.
Well,
Hello.
I was looking on here, Natasha Dow. Is that actually how you spell your name with 4 A's in it?
4 A's.
I like that. I thought that was like a Nata reference there.
No, that's not correct.
N-A-T-A-S-H-A.
There's not that many A's in it, no. N-A-T-A. But it works quite well. I'm actually Natasha too, so that's even more A's.
And in the land of the pastel de nata, you're like pastel de Natasha Dow there this morning as well, almost. So,
okay.
Good morning to you. We have another band member to bring onto the screen.
Oh, yeah.
And there will be the Jessica. Good morning to you, Jessica.
This is a rare treat seeing her at 9 a.m.
Oh my God!
Well, yeah.
The idea was to get a bunch of musicians up at 9 o'clock in the morning.
I am sorry about that. It is a tricky thing, as I've discovered before. Hi, how's it going with your new single?
It's going really well. Here's
Is this the fourth band member as well?
Oh.
Right,
Yeah,
so if we could place you all for a moment and then talk about your amazing new single, which we have previewed already on the show, went down very well indeed. You guys are brilliant. And I need a bit of context as well about, how you fit into Portugal. I believe you're going on a UK tour. You might be there already. So how did this all get started? Is it the Wildflowers or Wildflowers is the first question?
It's just Wildflowers.
Okay, thought so. And how did it begin?
Natasha, you want to?
Actually, you know what? I don't want to bring it's all about the Wildflowers, but the really interesting thing is how this follows on from the conversation you've just had. I actually lost my husband last January, and he was a musician too. And the link that kept me going was the music. He kept saying to me, you must keep playing. And I thought, how on earth am I going to do that? Who's going to want to play with me, an old grey-haired grandmother? And then Joe Mack runs Juke Joint, as you know, and I thought, you know what the safe space would be playing with other women, and saw the wonderful Jessica performing on her own, and thought, I'm no way near cool enough or talented enough for Jessica to be interested, but I know what, I'll ask her. So I did ask her, would you be interested in forming an all-girl group? Which is where Wildflowers came from, because the link here that I was trying to get to, is that music does make every point in our mind stimulate, and it really got me through the heartache and the pain, and music is that international language. So anyway, approached Jessica, and then in the usual way, we thought we were going to connect on WhatsApp, and she did not have WhatsApp, so I'm sending messages and getting no reply, and thought, oh, okay, she's not interested. Met her at another party with another girl who joined the band briefly, and realised that Jess didn't actually have the WhatsApp app. So when she did download the app in my presence, here came all the messages. Oh, so you are interested. And that's how Wildflowers was born. And then maybe we can explain that journey.
Yeah, isn't it? What a terrible bit of technology to have you thinking you're communicating, but only when you're at a party do 500 messages suddenly appear. So you don't have to read them all now, Jess. Basically, I want to be in a band with you. And there you are thinking you've been spurned or rejected by a fellow musician. That's a horrible moment in the journey of the band here. But here you are together, and clearly you make fantastic music. It's all worked out, and amazing, Natasha, incredible backstory context, as you explained there. When was this? And I mean, in that time you've just described, you've put an EP together as well.
This was only about a year ago. And, as Joe likes to say, our mantra is rock and roll will save your soul.
Yeah.
And, in that time, too, Joe wasn't even in the band yet, but he was also going through his own personal battles, and as was I. And it just was the universe aligning for all three of us to say, you need something else to focus on. And so we really put our noses to the stone and worked really hard to just make a recording And here we are now, a year later. And
yeah, I've got to ask you about that. How, how that gets done in Portugal. Joe, how did you get yourself in a girl band?
Isn't that funny? Isn't that funny that I'm in an all-girl band? I always think that's a bit strange, but it's fine. I just wear the eyeshadow and nobody notices. It's fine.
Fantastic. Bit of guy liner, bit of mascara, and you're all good to go. And
it's about being in touch with your feminine side, I think.
Absolutely right. And you are part of this ecosystem of music around the Silver Coast. That is another part of the context and setting here, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, we're just trying to build a little music scene here, and what's always been important to me from my background is songwriting and original music, and obviously that was Jessica was one of the first people I found in this area that was writing her own songs and doing original music, and I thought, well, how cool is that? I need to know this chick, and here we are.
Tell us where you've all come from then. Like Jessica Martins, that is a Portuguese name, right? And are you American? Are you Portuguese? How
yes.
did you get?
Oh.
Right. Right, of course. And you're based, but all three of you are based in the Silver Coast area, right? As rockers.
That's right. Yeah.
And did you grow up here, Jess?
No. Well, I grew up coming here every summer. And I'm actually living in what was my grandparents' house.
How amazing. How amazing.
I came here about 4 years ago and have been here since.
Wonderful. And were you in music in the States before you came here?
I was. I went to music college in Boston, and I had a band in the States called Via Audio for 20 years. And basically, music has been the only really consistent thing that I've done.
That's brilliant. So then Natasha approaches you, wants to be in a band with you. Natasha, how did you get to be in Portugal, if you don't mind me asking?
Actually, well, I was born in the UK, as you can tell from my accent, but then I moved to the US with my husband, strangely, because we were scientists, and you get treated like a professional in the States. But then we moved here, he couldn't work any longer, so we moved to Portugal as a nice, calm, peaceful place to have some happy times. But actually my background is from Goa, so Portugal is sort of a second home.
Oh, okay, of course. Yeah, the Goan Portuguese connection there. Incredible. And we started the show today with some physics students from Coimbra who were they're on tour in the Algarve doing traditional Portuguese music reinterpreted. And these are scientists of the future who are performers as well, which I think is a nice little interesting connection this morning. So you got to be in Portugal, you got the Goan connection. Joe, what about you? What brought you to Portugal?
Let's see. I actually was cycle touring around Spain, and I lived in Spain for a few years, and I just continued on my adventure and made it to Portugal, and thought, you know what? I'm sick of cycle touring. I need to settle for a little bit, and I ended up in Lisbon for about, 6-8 months, playing music there, meeting people there, and just continued on my journey, and somehow ended up here on the Silver Coast.
That's fantastic. And you found a little bit of a focal point with Simon over at the Rex Bar, right? And that's where the Juke joint happens, yeah?
Well, it's, you know what, as I was saying about trying to build an original music scene, really we're looking for bars always, and clubs and spaces that want to promote original music bands. And I don't know if that's necessarily what Simon wanted to promote, but he was happy to have a band that he didn't have to pay much that would bring in a crowd.
Yeah, bar owners love that business model, don't they?
Yeah, bar owners do love that business model.
So there you are as a regular, and we'd love to come and do some outside broadcasting from the. Is that still running? Is the Juke joint still ongoing?
Yeah, we still do the Juke joint. I was doing it for the first 2 years every week, but I was kind of burning out, and we were kind of burning out our core of musicians. So I changed it to once a month at the Rex Bar and once a month at the Pit Stop.
Yep.
And I was doing that for a while until Pedro at the Pit Stop started having problems with his music license. But I'm hoping to get back to the Pit Stop. He seems to have sort of quieted the voices. So hopefully he'll be back with live music.
That's
As he
amazing.
was.
Yeah, would love to see you back there for sure. I mean, that's another a vital part of the music scene, notwithstanding those problems. And the thing you referred to there about doing original music, I don't think that's that easy in Portugal, is it? The traditional thing is covers bands, isn't it? People love a covers band here, and
It's
I
true.
don't know if you've met Michael and Cheryl Bliss and Ron Rogers up in Porto, but you know, I've talked to them about this same thing of, you know, wouldn't it be great to have a focal point, a music scene, the immigrant musicians, foreigners coming in, and the local musicians creating a scene? But it seems really hard to get into that formula of covers that is really safe. What's your view on that? I mean, you've definitely made some progress on that part of things, Joe.
Yeah, I mean, you know what? I don't think Portugal is special in that way. I think any smaller market's always going to have a struggle with original music.
Yeah.
But it's our job as musicians and songwriters to persevere and just keep moving forward. Because if we threw in the towel and just played covers, then you know, ultimately culture itself suffers. And you know, of course, we don't want that.
No, we can't, especially now in this time of everything being kind of homogenized and globalized. We definitely.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah.
I put this analogy like this: that if you're a Michelin star chef and you've got your own special meals that you do, and then you get hired as a hamburger chef.
Yeah.
You know, and it's you can hire a Michelin star chef to cook hamburgers, sure, and he'll cook a really nice hamburger. But how do we win in that scenario?
Yeah,
you know,
it's true. And that's a really good analogy. Sorry, Jess, go on.
It says, so all we do is write songs about hamburgers now.
Is there a hamburger song in your repertoire?
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay, that's
written.
And this is a matter of education as well, isn't it? Without wanting to sound too pompous or patronizing about it. I don't think people necessarily understand the phenomenon that we were just talking about. You know, there's nothing wrong with, you know, rocking up at a local bar and hearing a few familiar tunes. It's nice and safe. But it is creative death as well in some ways, isn't it? So how can we help people to understand your plight as musicians who want to share original material and want to share that creativity and not have the world, you know, this world we live in where artists get paid a fraction of a penny should their music ever be put on Spotify or other streaming platforms. The bar owners who say to you, yeah, come along, it'll be really good publicity for you, and I can give you a free drink if you're really good. That's this is what you're up against, isn't it? And really, I think that we need to help with the audience's understanding of how important it is to get out and hear live music. How can we help? What message can we send to people on that sort of level?
I'll take this one. I'll just say I have had the most experience, I think, of being a poor musician.
Okay, go on.
Honestly, the best way to support musicians right now is to buy their merch.
Yeah.
And to go to Bandcamp. You can buy directly from the artist that way. Tell your friends, come to a show and you know, just give us a chance to show you what we can do. And, you know, little by little, hopefully something can come of it. But it's harder now on one hand than ever because of the internet. On the other hand, you know, it's easier to reach wider audiences. So I think just casting a wide net and helping us get the gospel out there it all helps.
Well said. Well, we wouldn't have met, would we, if it hadn't been for, you know, the communication that's possible via the internet. And you're doing that. So let's move into that then. You are producing music, you're selling music. And is there a merchandise line or hamburgers? Is there a hamburger that's going to be coming out that is the Wildflowers hamburger range?
Not yet. We might have to do a veggie burger though, just to keep everybody happy.
It would definitely have some curry spice in it.
So I'm going to play the single, if I may, again, when we finished our conversation, because I absolutely love Shady Lady. I think it's fantastic. And it's from a forthcoming EP, which people can buy. Where are they going to find that?
Well, the EP comes out this Friday.
Yep.
And it will be on all the streaming platforms. We also have a music video that we shot in my backyard.
Brilliant.
On YouTube and Bandcamp again. So if you want to visit our website, it's wildflowerspt.com.
Yeah.
And you can find all the fun stuff there.
Okay. Wildflowers. I'll make sure people can see that. And we have a tour ongoing, do we? I heard talk of a UK tour. Is that happening now, or is that when the EP comes out?
Well, before we go, we're going to have a big release party this Sunday at Rex Bar.
Yep.
And that's anyone is welcome to come, whether you're a human or a dog or
okay
or a hamburger. And
future compost.
Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry.
So this Sunday at Rex, and then 2 days later we fly to the UK and are there for 2 weeks touring around. So
fair play to you. That's not an easy thing to do, is it? But it looks like you've got some lovely little venues organized. Are people receptive to that when you ring them up? Is that Natasha's work?
That is Natasha's work.
That was a lot of persistence. I actually learned this from Joe, having just booked an Algarve tour. It reminded me of trying to get a university place or trying to get a job. You just bombard people with message after message, and it was a tough sell because we had nothing to show them to prove who we were. But these shining stars took the risk and said, yeah, sure, we'll book you. And it's sort of a bit of a bluff. We're a touring band. We've toured Europe. Well, we toured the Algarve, but we managed to
which is Europe, by the way.
Yeah, it is, absolutely. We could go with that. That's amazing. If people, by some quirk, are seeing a single, say, yeah, we want that. We want this band to come and play with us. Are you open to other invitations? Are you open to this community, knowing someone who's got a bar around the world saying okay, all right. And people can get in touch with you at wildflowerspt.com. That's the right website that I've put on the screen there, is it?
Yes.
Perfect. Okay. Michael's here. Talk of the devil. Have a great tour. Look forward to listening to the EP.
Hi, Michael.
Hi, Michael.
We do have something going on, don't we? With the whatever you call them, expats, foreigners, immigrants in Portugal, coming in, wanting to play original live music. The Blisses, Ron Rogers up in Porto. You guys here on the Silver Coast. It's looking fairly positive, isn't it?
Let's not forget Oz DeFaz.
There's a huge amount of musicians now, aren't there? It's great.
Yeah, it's growing all the time, and we're always seeing new faces pop up. And I think the Juke Joint has been a nice little home for our music community, and a place where people can get up and play some original music. And it's not about whether or not you're getting a gig. It's about the fact that here's an open forum to get up and do your thing. So we've made some leaps and bounds, I think, with that. But for the Wildflowers, it's really about getting out of Portugal. Actually, it's really about seeing the rest of the world. And we're not in this to get rich or to get famous. We're just in this to have a lot of fun and be able to travel.
Well, that comes a lot. What was that, Jess? You wouldn't mind a bit of fame and wealth as well, right?
I don't need the fame, but it'd be great to pay my bills.
Wouldn't it just? It's not much to ask for. And, like socio-politically, I think it's really important that a resurgence of creativity. We've been through a pretty shitty couple of years, haven't we? And we are going through some weird times in the world. In many ways, and in other times, it has fallen to the creative people, musicians included, of course, and artists of all kinds, to remind us who and what we really are. Am I being too pretentious, or do you think there's a part to play for musicians in giving people a bit of a knock on the head and saying, look, come on, human beings, life is meant to be much more fun than we've had it in the last little while? Are you down with that idea?
Yeah, absolutely. You know what? It reminds me of what they used to say about the Great Depression in America. That actually, when everybody was out of work, the entertainers still had work because people still needed to be entertained through thick and thin.
Yeah.
Whether or not they got paid is another question.
Same old. It would appear. But now it's possible, isn't it? You know, with the whole advent of micropayments and, you know, niche marketing and bands having this long tail marketing and a core of fans who buy the merch, who buy the music. I hope you find yourselves in that, because you really deserve to. I love your music. This video is fantastic. It's full of fun, and I think that spirit, you know, where maybe it will be the artists and the musicians and the creative people who do bring this reminder to people after this weird time we've been through. And in some ways, it's still up for grabs, isn't it? You know, what will the future look like? I'm hoping it's going to be one where creative people are informing that, rather than the World Economic Forum, for example.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Well said.
We appear to be on the same wavelength there. Antonio F. Says, hit the button. Michael Bliss is obviously wishing you a great tour.
Yes.
Looking forward to hearing the EP. Bringing a truck full of the band's stage, etc. is really cool. Even in my small village, watching them set up was entertaining too. Hopefully you can break into the local, well, not the national circuit. That's the thing for sure in Portugal, isn't it? With the festas. Is there an avenue there of expression, do you think, or is that quite tied up?
Good question.
Good question. It seems to be pretty tied up at the moment, but we're making so much headway.
But actually, with our Communities Unite, we got to be a part of the festas this year.
Yeah.
So that's not necessarily a Wildflowers thing, but it does have to do with our music community and our expat music community. And we have been welcomed into the festas in Capoeira, which we're really excited about and proud about to be a part of it. And
that's the next one. Sorry to put that in front of your face there, Jess, for a minute, but that's the next
okay,
one.
because that's my face on the left.
her face over her face.
Your face is being covered with your face. Communities Unite. So that's the next one. You're going to be back for that then on September the 3rd. Communities Unite. That's an amazing thing that they're doing up there. Something is happening, isn't it? Something is in the air, which I am so pleased about. And so, yeah, if we can finish and let your music do the talking for a moment, which
Awesome.
very brilliantly. This is the single recorded on the Silver Coast here. Where did you do this?
We did this in Caldas at
Wow.
our friend Nelson, who's also on that show at Communities Unite. Nelson Rodriguez.
Yeah.
He's got a little rehearsal space, and he made it sound like we were in a nice big studio, and he really helped us out a lot. So he's our fifth Beatle.
Yeah, good job. He's done a great job. Thank you so much for being here this morning.
Hey, Carl, we just want to make sure we overplug this show on Sunday, so that everybody knows that's the time and place is 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Rex Bar in Óbidos.
Yeah,
and it's going to be fun and games and flower costumes and DJs and
we're playing too.
And the band are playing on top of all of that. Right, okay. Good luck with it. Sunday then, 3 o'clock in Óbidos. A chance to have a little wander around the medieval village earlier on in the day and finish the day with a fantastic gig with Wildflowers. This is the new single from the EP that will be released on Friday. What a busy week you have ahead of you. Listen to it now. Thank you very much. All the best to you. Ciao, ciao. Bye for now. Ciao, ciao. Here's the single, everybody.